Until one day, Isaac's mother heard a voice from above. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Okay, well that was fun while it lasted. Here we are, playing some more Isaac today. I don't know what my HP is like, but all my other stats are amazing. Except speed. YZYR-ROZR. So let's operate on a very standard principle that if all of my, and this is not valid, but it might be helpful. Sometimes a lie, despite being a lie, can lead to positive things for us, you know? What do I mean by that? We have no reason to believe our HP is bad, but behaving as if our HP is bad may save us from taking dumb damage that could get us killed. Oh, excuse me one moment, please. I'm back. Anyway, long story short, we should try to play smartly. The smarter we play, the less we have to worry. How about what they ran interference? Did you see that? I'm upset, but also kind of amazed. I want to, but I do not want to. I am of two minds. Let's put it that way. The pills are a little spicy. Let's go. That's huge. Pills are a little spicy. Just due to the fact that they're bad consistently. But you know what's not bad consistently? All of our stats. Goopity boop boom. All of our stats. Goopity boom boom. All of our stats. You know that? That's Led Zeppelin. Or as I like to call them, not one of the best bands of the 1970s, because Steely Dan exists. That's right, I'm not afraid of saying it. I'm not afraid. I have no fear about saying the truth. Like, sure, Led Zeppelin 4, classic album. Is it as good as Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill? Yeah, maybe. Maybe in a parallel universe. Where the opposite things of truth are true. Sorry, I'm in a mood, I guess. Either way, it's the 4th Isaac episode I'm recording today, dude. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. To have a window of time to be Isaac productive, because, you know, like 7 Golden Goblet videos, when the Golden Goblet is running, it's not that hard to do in a couple of days, because they tend to be 15 to 30 minutes long. So, you know, maybe half a workday for the average Golden Goblet, and all of a sudden you got your whole week's Golden Goblet videos under control. That's a really good, efficient way to make content. Hoop, you almost got me, but you didn't. Isaac, on the other hand, you never know. 7 videos could be 7 hours. Probably not. Ooh, but it could be. That was a really good get right there. So what do I want to see? Really? What do I want to see? Well, we'll see. I was kind of hoping for a little speed, actually, but we could still get some in here. As I always say, don't shoot the messenger. The play that you want to run here, oh my god, is definitely still Mom's Knife. It's definitely still your play. We do have to be very, very concerned about our HP. But really, like, I think you can conceptualize a lot of Isaac in terms of, like, you know, like, how do you determine whether a run is a win or a loss? It's determined by the amount of HP you need to survive. The higher your damage is, the less you need, the less HP you need to live. And the better you play, the less HP you need to live. Taking Mom's Knife costs us 3 Spirit Hearts, but lowers the amount of HP we need to survive by a substantial amount. So all we need to do is get to that level, and we're okay. All we need to do is get to that level, and we're okay. Oh, okay, can of corn. Can of corn, and I'll be fine. Still a net positive. I will say, for all of my negativity surrounding, and actually there should be some skulls in this room. For all of my negativity surrounding the items inside of Tinted Rocks in the modern Isaac experience, I do think we get more Tinted Rocks than ever before. I will give you that one. Does it make up for it? It's a toy. Who cares? It's not like I don't want to be part of that culture, you know. That's I may make some jokes at Isaac's expense. Isaac, as far as I'm concerned, makes some jokes at my expense as well, and that's a situation that I'm content with. Don't think it has to go any deeper than that, you know? But I just don't want to be one of those gamers who's like, hey, well, look, if you do it one way, I think it's fine. I mean, no matter how you do it, I don't really care, to be honest. But, like when, you know, you play a competitive game and people go over the patch notes with a fine-tooth comb to inform people, I think that's fine. It's just, I get annoyed, I guess, when it's, like, editorialized as, like, does Bungie hate gamers? And I'm like, yeah, a big brain take. Bungie hates gamers. Just like McDonald's hates people who like to eat cheeseburgers. Makes perfect sense if you don't think about it for longer than, I don't know, a single quantum of time. A single quanta? I don't know. I'm gonna need James Bond to give me a lesson on this one. I said James Bond, right? I thought I might have said James Bong. Which, admittedly, is hilarious. But also probably is a joke that's been made 1,000 times in the past, so I can't take credit for that. So I do appreciate this, don't get me wrong. And we will, that's not the secret room. Maybe I've been talking to James Bong. I haven't, for the record. It is 19 cents. We got 10 bombs left, 2 keys. Definitely good shot opportunity here. We will blow this up as well. Very nice. I mean, I'm almost like, hey, can we put the brakes down on this one right now? But at the same time, I don't really want to go back. I don't really feel like there's a great reason to move backwards on this run. What I do feel like is that we're definitely going to get Magic Mush. I shouldn't have stood there, but I was also right. So who's the loser now, Mom? Who's the loser now, Mouth? Hey, if you guys want a great Photoshop, there is a quote from The Simpsons that says, what does it say? It's like, Alf's back, but now in Pog form. If you could Photoshop Malf's face onto that screenshot, and then change the subtitle so it says Malf's back and now in Pog form, I think that could be, like, if you put that on the circle jerk, oh my god. Free views. Well, I mean, it's free because you're making it. And I'm not paying you for it, I suppose. But I'm not going to pay you to make a meme that I don't profit off of either. And don't even, I understand where you're going to go with this one, but please spare me. Well, technically, you are commercializing the meme because it's an extension of your brand, and it's about the money, dummy! That's me being Kevin O'Leary from Dragon's Den, my least favorite dragon, and, well, maybe my second least favorite dragon in history. I don't know. Let's not get into it. It's a little too close to the bone. A Book of Sin? The Necronomicon. We'll take Book of Sin, because I was just going to say, Spirit Heart Potential is worth something. I think I do a very good Kevin O'Leary impression, because I'm bald. So people are innately like, that's really good, but really it's just that we have the same barber. If you do this idea, Amazon is going to put a satellite above your house and hit you with a laser beam. They are going to erase you. They are going to launch a homing missile, and they're going to take you out. I'm out. I don't like Kevin O'Leary. I have a thought, okay? And look, I don't know Kevin O'Leary as a human being. I only know the personality that he chooses to show to Planet Earth. But I feel like he is one of those guys, or at least is marketed as one of those guys. And let's move it back a little bit, because here's what I want to say. I think that there is a media bias in the positive way. Like, I think the media is not critical enough of loud people. I think that implicitly there is a and I'm being completely serious when I say this. And normally when I say I'm being completely serious, I'm joking. This time I'm not. But I'm being completely serious when I say this. I think that loud people, the loudness for a large subset of the human population short circuits their ability to understand logic. And instead they go, yeah, he's impolite, but that means he's probably right. I don't know what it is, but it seems like anytime there's a dude who's incapable of being respectful, and he gets a lot of media attention, there's a group of people who are like, man, this guy is like just not very nice and says a lot of incendiary stuff. And then there's a group of people that are like, well, I mean, he's just telling it like it is. I think it's TV. So in that sense, I don't hold it against him, except I do not like him. So I guess, if not liking somebody is holding it against them, then sure, I hold it against them, I suppose. You might say, NL, I bet if you met him in real life, you'd be like, yes, Mr. O'Leary, sir, thank you, Mr. No, I would walk across the street not to cross his path, quite frankly. I don't care for him. I wish I had the panache to use, like, the Mariah Carey insult, which is when you clearly know who somebody is, when you're asked about them, saying, I don't know who that is. It's just a great line. Look, if you like Kevin O'Leary, we can still get along. I like a lot of the people on Dragon's Den, you know, at least decently. Arlene Dickinson, she seems okay. Occasionally gets suckered into some deals that I wouldn't take, but also, you know, I have a feeling that she might know a little bit more about business than me. You know, based on the fact that she's twice my age and 20 times my success in that realm. It's probably actually quite modest. She's probably like thousands of times more successful than me in business. That other guy, you know, the one who kind of looks like Mark Ruffalo, I thought he was okay. Brett Wilson, when he was on the show for the first few seasons, I was like, this guy's pretty nice. And then, you know, you follow him on social media and you're like, are you okay? Feels like he's going through like a hard time and he's taking it out on other people. But, you know, that's more, we don't need to get into that particular side of things. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. Jim Treliving? I don't know. Seems like he could be a cool grandpa. I don't really like Boston pizza, but, you know. Seems like he's got some grandfatherly qualities. Shame that his son is the general manager who architected the Calgary Flames, one of the dirtiest teams in the NHL. So be it. Oh, I'm going off today. I'm going off, dude. All right. Well, I'll be honest with you. The optics of this run are set in stone. All we need, really, like the dream would be Blank Card Emperor. Because this one is, you know, it's not like I want to rush it down immediately and deprive you of content. But the only thing holding us back is the restrictor plate on our Pontiac Trans Am, you know? This baby ain't exactly street legal. What's your favorite Will Ferrell comedy? And I specifically want to be clear. Not your favorite movie that Will Ferrell has ever been in. Because I know you're going to say Stranger Than Fiction, okay? Which is fine. It's probably my favorite movie that Will Ferrell's ever been in. But I'm not using the question as an opportunity for you to be an enlightened film consumer. You know, like when I ask what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie, I don't want you to say Uncut Gems, even though it's the best. Or maybe you're a little artier than me, and you're a big fan of Punch Drunk Love or the Meyerowitz stories or whatever. more power to you. But that's not what I mean. Those are not Adam Sandler movies. That's a Noah Baumbach movie, and a Safdie Brothers movie, and a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. What I'm asking you is, what is your favorite movie in which he acts like a buffoon? The answer is Happy Gilmore. For Will Ferrell, it's the same question. Thank you for the speed upgrade. What's your favorite Will Ferrell is Will Ferrell movie? Step Brothers, Anchorman, the new Eurovision movie, Semi-Pro. Both Zoolander and Dodgeball deign to apply. However, I think that those are more Ben Stiller movies. By the way, I just realized Will Ferrell, not in Dodgeball, so it definitely does not apply. Definitely does not apply there. Nonetheless, I think it's... look, Anchorman's got to be the number one answer, right? I think Anchorman is still pretty... Oh, I think it's pretty funny. Anchorman 2 is a slap of the face. Zoolander, reasonably funny. As long as you go into it expecting a complete farce, which you should. Zoolander 2... I feel like it's been less than a month since I went off on this tangent. Zoolander 2 is perhaps the worst film ever made. It's at least, in my opinion, the worst major motion picture released in the last decade. That I've seen, at least. I haven't seen all the bad ones, but Zoolander 2, you might be like, how bad could it be? It's really bad. Here's one way I might describe it, is that to the best of my description, to the best of my abilities to describe, I would say Zoolander 2 is the worst movie you are likely to choose to watch. You know, if you're on a long bus trip, you may be forced to watch a worse movie. It might be the worst movie you would ever sit down and be like, oh, Zoolander 2's on TV tonight, maybe we'll watch it. At that point, you've already made a grievous error. Sure, why not? You've already made your fatal mistake. And I've seen some of the bad ones. Like, I watched Holmes and Watson. Holmes and Watson is horrendous. It is not a good movie in any universe. So get your Panglossian philosophy out of here. Sure, why not? Well, there's one reason why not. We don't even need the Spirit Heart. However, Holmes and Watson is leagues above Zoolander 2. Holmes and Watson is a movie I would choose to watch. Well, I did choose to watch it, I should say. Why did I choose to watch it? Because, in spite of myself, I find Will Ferrell affable, but I really like John C. Reilly. I previously may have uttered an expression along the lines of... Well, we shouldn't have taken that yet, but still want it in the end. I may have uttered an expression along the lines of, no matter how bad a movie is, if John C. Reilly's in it, it's got to be at least pretty good. Nope. Holmes and Watson, truly, truly horrendous. Would not recommend. Not to be confused with Stan and Ollie, which is actually really, really sweet. And you might say, what about Dumb and Dumber 2? T-O-O? I would not choose to watch it. Come on. Like, Zoolander 2 came out, I don't know, maybe 15 years after the original. Dumb and Dumber 2 came out almost 30 years after the original. For every Blade Runner that makes that situation work, there are infinite numbers of, like, complete disasters. What am I talking about? I don't really know, okay? Because this run is so good. I don't have to talk about Isaac, so I can't use Isaac as like a jumping off point to like spin me into another conversation. So instead I'm just insulting Hollywood actors and actresses and musicians over and over. And I can't get out of the muck. We'll get there one day. I mean, on this run, we're already there. Sorry, I was turning a bit over and over in my head. And I was like, let's not go into it. But in my head, I was like, the premise of the bit was Zoom funeral. We'll just stop it right there, though, because it's maybe a little too real. But then there's nothing, there's no pivot. I did do, by the way, excuse me. I did Trackmania's track of the day today. I gotta say, if you know, in the same way that everybody thought that when Shadow of Mordor came out. I mean, this is, I've been of this opinion for a long time on the internet, but it took me a long time to get there as well. When Shadow of Mordor came out, everybody was like, they should copy the nemesis system in every single game. The nemesis system, for context, was like, well, if you played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's kind of in that. But, you know, there were champion NPCs that would, like, have emergent storylines. Like, you might kill one, but then later in the game, they'll come back with, like, different stats and they'll remember you. Or you could actually, like, capture one and, like, use it as, like, one of your field lieutenants in battle and stuff like that. It was really cool. But when it happened, there was like, hey, everybody should copy this. And then there was ink and, you know, digital ink spilled. Ink and digital ink, the two kinds of ink. About, like, I want to see a little bit more of it. I don't want to see it ever again. Well, don't be ridiculous. I don't think every game should copy it. No, every game should copy it. And then, like, no games really copied it, except for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, where are you going with this one? Well, I really feel like there's something to be said for that exact same thing applying to Trackmania. I think games, at least that have a reasonable sized audience, would do very well to copy Trackmania's regionality of their leaderboards. Why not? We'll get back to permanent Polaroid invincibility, get to see one more deal with the devil. Could be cool. I think they would be wise to copy Trackmania's regionality. Because, like, look, I understand, at least in principle, if not in practice, the thrill of being #1 on a global leaderboard. You know, I imagine it's got to be a thrill the likes of which you've never seen. I mean, I've been high on leaderboards for games that were not that popular. Or that I received the press code for, you know, along those lines. But, I mean, I can't imagine if you, like, looked at the leaderboards for a game that's insanely popular and you were at the top. That's gotta feel amazing, right? But 99.9% of us in the world of games will never experience that. However, Trackmania, by doing increasingly thin slices of the population, allows you to get a surrogate for that same kind of feel without really cheapening it, you know? Like, sure, when I look on the leaderboard and it says you're like, oh, top 500 in the world, I feel nothing. I'm like, I don't know, is that good? Is that bad? The answer is, I mean, for Trackmania, it's pretty great. And then what, you know, when you see like top 100 in Canada, you're like, ooh. But when you see top 3 in British Columbia, that's a feeling that's like, top 3. I like the sound of that. I would love to see that in more competitive games. Like in Warzone, like I know I'm not great, right? But if, like when I look at the leaderboards and it's like, oh, you're in 353,000th place. That just feels like I'm just a number. But if they could split it regionally without having intense privacy concerns, like maybe you could opt out. But if they could split it regionally and be like, hey, you're in the top like 2,000 in British Columbia, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty neat. Top 2,000, huh? I like the sound of that. We're not one away from becoming Guppy, so I will not take this. We don't need the keys either. I think that's a very, like, it keeps me going day after day. And I will say, just getting, like, national leaderboards, I'm not going to say it's not enough, but the regionality helps out a lot. Like, I'm not willing to provide my address to these companies, but if somehow they were like, you know, top 1 in your apartment building, I would be like, let's go. I'm so good. Keep it moving. Keep him. Way! Oh, you don't even try it, Buster Brown. There we go. I don't know if we should have taken that red heart. I mean, I really don't think it matters, but we did have Black Rune. Although, what stat are we looking for? Not to mention, like, PokeGo just came through in the extreme clutch for us. With, like, one of the best items you could possibly have. But, like, we don't really need the HP. I suppose we don't really need much of anything right now. If we were to pick a stat we needed, it would probably be HP. So, sure, why not? Our invincibility is not really that big of a selling point, I suppose. The only thing that's nice is with permanent Polaroid invincibility, we could literally just, if we got hit once, well, okay. I was gonna say, if we got hit once, we could just stand there and kill an enemy. But apparently we can do that anyway, so... Alright, no problems then. This run's really come together. We'll just do this. Seems good to me. Seems very good to me. Well, dude, I don't know what to say, quite frankly. It's been a very blessed day of Isaac recording. You get days like this on occasion, but this is really like a special case, for sure. 4 runs. Excuse me, that didn't open. It's because I think I kicked the consumable into it instead of opening it. But 4 runs, and they're all, like, really fast and also decently strong. And we did have one where we started with 1 HP, but, you know, once we got past the first floor, we held it together. And, I mean, if you're doing Eden runs and you're going to complain about a 1 HP run, you're in the wrong line of work. Start doing Isaac runs, coward. But on this one... I apologize. I hope you enjoyed the banter, because there's not really much Isaac drama to be had here. Just a whole lot of pressing the spacebar and walking into enemies until they explode. Like a true nature's child. I was born to be mild. How about that? For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and that is 12 wins in a row. I'll see you next time. See ya!